Hey Hub, sorry we're a little bit late with our with our interview here. We were having a little bit of a technical difficulty, but I'm really excited to bring another VA success story to you guys today. First, I just wanted to say real quick a big welcome to our new members. Thank you guys for joining us, and I hope you get everything that you're looking for out of our group here. Also wanted to remind you guys about our membership contest that we have going on this month. So don't forget, because we are more than halfway through the month. So if you invite 5 people into our group who are virtual assistants or looking to be virtual assistants, or really any type of freelance business, you will get a $5 Starbucks or Amazon card. And then whoever is the big winner at the end of the month with the most new members added with their name, they are going to get a $50 card. So, and I apologize if I seem off today. I'm actually going to this interview for the Goldman Sachs program I've been talking about, and I'm literally a nervous wreck today. So without further ado, let's have some fun. And I'm going to introduce you guys to Chrissy Connor. And Chrissy is amazing. She works with some of our clients. She has her own business going, and she is the backbone of the EVA marketing campaign. I would be completely lost without her. So I'm going to bring her on screen and we're going to hear about her, how she got started and her success story.
Hello.
Hi, Chrissy.
Looks like my hair is crazy.
I love that cut though. It's so cute.
I do too. I'm loving it now. So
yeah. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for taking time, because I know how busy you are, but I want to do this every month. And I think it's important for people to see all of the different areas that VAs can work in, how people started, where they're at today. And I know social media is a really big one. It's popular in the VA space. It's popular with clients. But it also is, I would say, one of the more labor intensive areas to be in, especially with having to keep up with education and everything. So,
right.
So anyway, so let's just start by, why don't you give us a little background on yourself and, how you actually got into the social media side of things?
That's a long story, but to shorten it the best way I can. So for years, I have a recruiting background. I was actually an information technology recruiter, and I basically helped people find jobs. And it was a lot of, I loved my job and I loved building relationships, and it got to really where it was more about the numbers and how many phone calls can you make. And it really became that headhunter mindset. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to start my own business, which was not a VA job. I actually started a skincare business with a friend of mine. We both had kids with sensitive skin, and we wanted to be able to make our own skincare from home. So we bootstrapped everything. And so I needed to learn how to run social media. I learned how to create a website. I learned how to create marketing materials. I learned how to make catalogs. I learned everything from scratch. So we did that for probably about 2 or 3 years, and really decided that we were doing a lot of work and not making a lot of money. We totally did everything the wrong way. And I can look back now and say that. But I loved doing the back end side of things. I love the marketing. I love the social media. I love the website design. And then basically just kind of started doing it for other people after we closed our business, and didn't even know what a VA was at the time, to be honest with you. And I started seeing the word pop up, and I was like, well, I guess I'm kind of a VA. I've never thought of it like that, but I just did anything and everything for people. And pretty much became a VA, but I didn't even know it, if that makes any sense.
You were a VA without knowing it.
Right, exactly. Until I realized there was a word for it. And then I was like, okay, then I'm going to call myself a VA. That sounds good, because that's pretty much what I do. I assist people virtually, so it makes sense.
Right. So you basically then so you didn't come out starting with social media. You just had to learn it for your business, which I feel like is a lot of times how people start something. It's not intentional like yours is. I know that's how mine was too. I started in one thing and morphed into another. So
yeah, I mean, actually I was like, I'll just like manage email accounts and stuff like that. I mean, I liked social media, but I wasn't really doing it at the time for anybody else but myself. So it wasn't something that, not that I didn't love, I like it, but it wasn't like my passion at the time. So it kind of like, I fell into it the more I realized what social media was really for. And I think that's kind of why I mentioned that I was a recruiter, because it went back to that relationship building. And that's when I realized, okay, this is like amazing. Like I can build relationships and teach people how to do that and how to put themselves out there on social media, which is totally not how I started out, by the way. I was chicken and never wanted to be on camera. I wanted to be on the back end of things. So it's totally not how I started out and how I envisioned. I wanted to be the behind the scenes and never show up and just be like everybody's secret little assistant, and help them out. And that's obviously totally changed.
Look at you now. You're the one always nagging at me about getting visible, get visible.
I know.
So did you ever envision though where you are now? Did you have any vision of that back when you started? And how long ago was that you started doing this?
Probably, I started, I guess, being a VA probably 2013, 2014. And again, I know Laura will tell you guys that you need like a niche and you need all this stuff. And I'm just like, I was flying by the seat of my pants. If somebody asked me to do something, I was like, yep, I can do it. I can do it. I can do anything. I can do everything. I never said no. I took everything that anybody asked me to do and did it and figured out a way to do it. So it's totally evolved. And it really started out, I am glad I did everything looking back, because now I know what I don't want to do. I just got rid of my last client. I just never wanted to get rid of her, but she didn't want me. She has somebody else that's going to take over her email, and I'm fine with it because it wasn't my passion, and I was doing it because she's been my client for so long. But to be able to know that that's where I started and I don't have to do those things anymore is nice, because I don't, what I don't enjoy doing.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, I do know what you don't enjoy, like the email stuff, or anything admin. And so you've evolved but you had to start doing that, right? Like that was your stepping stone to get where you are today. And now you're at a point that, you don't have to take on those jobs anymore, and you can actually do what you truly love doing. But to get started, we all typically have to start doing something we might not like, or so, we always hear like all of the good things and, all of the, oh, this is where I am. And it was like so easy to get here, but it's never really the case. So can you just give us like maybe an example of a hurdle that you've had to overcome, or, what's been a big obstacle for you?
Oh my gosh. Number one, my first obstacle would have to be, I didn't know it was an obstacle, but I am a very proud person who does not like to ask for help. I like to figure out everything on my own. And I figured out really fast that's not how to grow a business. When they say that it takes a community to raise a kid, it truly takes a community to grow a business. You can't do it on your own. I don't care who you are. You have to have people. You have to have mentors. You have to have coaches. You have to invest in those things. Those things are so important. And once I realized I don't have to do this alone, I can ask for help, which was very hard for me to do because I struggle with asking for help big time.
Yes, I know.
Ask me how long it took me to hire my first VA. It took a long time. But once I realized that I wasn't a know-it-all and I didn't know everything, and the way I could fast track my business was to learn from others and hire a coach. That's when it really turned around, because again, I was just in this mindset. I had a horrible mindset. I had a mindset I could do it all on my own, and I'm going to build this thing from the ground up, and nobody's going to help me, and my name is going to be all on it. And that's not true. That's how you fall flat on your face. And so there were definitely some struggles. There were some financial struggles. There were some months that I was jumping up and down, and the next month I might be crying because clients quit or couldn't afford it or something, right? And so there's definitely been ups and downs for sure. I actually had a client that was like a really good friend. I don't want to get into all the details of that, but it was a really good friend of mine. And she kept telling me she was going to like get me all this business. And I, gullible, I don't know whether it was an intention or not, but I kept waiting for this business, and I wouldn't go look for other accounts. And I kept waiting on somebody. And so one thing I learned through that is you don't have a client until that money is coming in. So don't wait on people saying, oh, I'm going to hire you. I'm going to do this for you. I want you to do this website. Until you actually sign the contract on the dotted line, it's not live, and you keep looking, you keep people in the pipeline. So that's one hard lesson that I truly learned from listening and trusting and thinking. I'm not saying not to trust anybody, but it was just a bad situation all around. So yeah, I learned that until it's signed, don't start spending the money because it's not there.
Yeah, right. Well, that's true. And I think that is a hard lesson that you really have to learn on your own. Like I know, for example, even with the agency, how many times people are like, oh yeah, I'm going to get that contract back to you. Can you start looking for somebody for me? Nope, I will not. And I've learned, because we put time into, finding the right person, and it still takes time on any end to do whatever area, you're working on. But until you have that client that has paid and actually signed the contract and said, yes, I'm working with you, don't waste your time on it. I mean, and I don't mean waste your time like, you have that initial call and you tell them everything they need to know, but don't go giving all of your time away for free, because we all get lost in that. And I feel like that's almost like something that women just tend to do in general. We want to be helpful. We want people to know that we're there to support them, but it's a business. And sometimes it's really hard to separate, knowing like, okay, this is a business and this is, help for somebody. So you've been collaborating a lot lately with our Nellie, our wonderful Nellie. So tell me a little bit like about how you guys got started, really working together, and what the collaboration has done for your business.
So Nellie and I used to both be on a team together. We sold Beachbody products, and we met each other that way. Nellie also ran and started as the founder of NC4K, which is a pediatric cancer here in Columbus, Ohio. They help pediatric cancer families. And so she was working for them at the time. She needed an assistant, and basically I started working for her. So for probably 9 to 10 months, I worked for her as an assistant. And then it went to more doing, that was one of the email jobs, which I liked at the time. And then it got to be more design work on an as needed basis. And then she became my coach. She started doing one-on-one coaching. So I'm like, okay, coach me, like I need your help. She still is my coach. And so we just started, I think we just kind of grew together. Like we both were growing our businesses, and we just started talking one day, and she was like, let's collaborate. Like, and I was like, what? Like, and I think it's like, I even told her this, so hopefully she doesn't care that I share this. Like I get so, any entrepreneur for that matter gets so down, and they feel like they're not worthy. They feel like they aren't going on the path that they should. And I'm like, the one thing that turned me around, and my phone is like vibrating like crazy. Oh my gosh. Are you still there?
Yeah, you look like you're frozen though.
Okay. I'm coming back.
You still look frozen.
Okay.
I can hear you though.
You can hear me? Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep talking. I don't know why. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Am I here? I see you.
I don't see your face though on this other one that's muted. Let's try it. Nope.
Are you there?
I'm here. You just go ahead and talk. I don't know what happened to your
I don't know where my face is at either.
I don't know. I've had so many tech issues. It's not even funny.
So anyhow, I realize if she wants to collaborate with me, then obviously I'm doing something right.
Right. Are you still trying to get on?
Yeah.
But that's one thing that I really, why I wanted to bring that up is how awesome collaborating with somebody else can be. Because it makes you feel like you're not alone in what you're doing. Because a lot of times being a VA can be kind of a lonely, depending on what you're doing, depending on how much you're getting out and meeting people and networking, which I'm a huge proponent of. But when you're sitting at home by yourself at your desk, day after day, or maybe you go to a coffee shop or what have you, but I feel like it can definitely be a lonely ride. And when you're collaborating with somebody, you have somebody to bounce the ideas off of, maybe somebody that can, do an area that you might not be good at. And so then you can offer, a package of services or something. Or like with your case, it could just take you in a completely different direction. So I just think, I think everybody should be open to collaborating. And that's why I'm always telling people, just get out and meet people. Maybe they're not your client, but it could be somebody that you are going to collaborate with, or, who knows? I mean, I've seen people that have just been, they've just been active in groups and can become a moderator of a group, or, just doors can open, but you have to have the mindset that, any visibility is good visibility, right? Like any interaction with somebody is good interaction with somebody. So is there one thing that you would contribute to your success so far? Any one thing? Oh, I think we lost. Oh, wait, here. I think she's coming back on. Let's take this one out. Okay, there you are. Did you hear my last question?
Yes, you said, is there any one thing that I can attribute? I'm going to say, number one, investing in my business.
Huge.
Which is so huge, huge. And the amount of money and time that I've invested in my business is insane. I'm probably putting about 60% of what I make back into my business this year, because I knew that I had to do something different. I knew that this was what was going to grow my business. I'm in a very high level mentorship group, but I want to be a high level person. And if I want to be a high level person, then that's what I need to do. And I knew I needed to do that. So investing in myself with the mentorship group, the training that I'm involved in, because social media changes so much. And my coaching, it's like required. Like, I feel like that's how I'm going to get to the next level. Am I going to continue this forever? Probably not. But I feel like I always need some type of mindset at minimum. Mindset coaching to keep me on the right path, because I just feel like we have that up and down, right? Every day. Yes, like always. How many times a day do you say you're going to quit and you're done with this?
Yeah.
You jump up and down because you get a sell.
Right. It's true though. It is a roller coaster. And I think it's one thing that people just need to know going in, because when you get that first failure, or you get that first month that you're like, oh my God, I lost money. Like I didn't make money, or whatever it is, you're like, oh, I want to throw in the towel. But I think it's so important that people understand that it's normal. The entrepreneur ride is literally a roller coaster, but you just got to get on, and your vision has to be bigger, and your drive has to be bigger than your fear. Right. You have to get over it. So, and it's not easy. And that's why collaborating is such a good thing, people.
Yes, it is. It is. And, it's hard, because we do feel alone sometimes, especially because we work from home and things like that. And I feel like collaborating or just like finding, I mean, all of my clients are my friends, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I love all my clients. Like I could like go out to dinner with any one of my clients, like, and have a blast, but they're my people, right? I wouldn't be working with them if they weren't my people, right? So
Right.
there's a certain type of people, there's certain people you work with better than others. The ones that you don't work well with, they're not going to work out eventually, right?
And they're not your
It's just
client,
human nature.
right? Not
Right,
everybody's your
exactly.
client. And that's another hard lesson to learn. That's why one of the things that I always stress too is really knowing who your ideal client is, because you're going to find out really quick the ones that you don't want to work with. And sometimes you're stuck for a while. So
yeah.
we know, we've been there. So what piece of advice would you give anybody that is either working in the social media space or wanting to maybe transition out of what they're currently doing into the social media space? What would be some advice that you would give them, for wanting to make that leap or that jump, or to keep, continuing to improve and up-level their services?
Number one, invest. I'm sorry, I don't care who you are. You cannot be a top-notch social media person without investing in training, because social media changes too much. And Googling and YouTube videos, yeah, they're great to help you kind of bootstrap and get started, but they're not going to last forever. You have to really be in the know. I am in a group with about 800 around the world social media managers. So when something changes, we know. When the algorithm changes with Instagram and we want to know how to beat it, we figure it out really fast. So when you have that kind of support in a mentorship group with that many people, that's really huge. And then, I would figure out, like, especially social media, are there things that you love doing more than others, which you will. Like, I love Facebook and Instagram. Those are my two favorite. LinkedIn's probably my third. Twitter is not my favorite thing to do. So figure out what your niche is and what you love doing. And again, that can evolve. Like I'm next week for my training, I'm rooming with like one of the Pinterest queens. Like, so I might like Pinterest a lot more after I room with her. You know what I mean? So like,
Right.
because I'm sure we're going to talk shop a lot. So so truly invest. If you want to be in social media, you got to invest, because it just changes too much to just do the online free trainings and stuff like that. And free trainings are great. They'll get you to a certain point, but if you really want to up level, and yes, I mean, obviously I want to do stuff for myself, but I want my clients to see results too, because otherwise, why am I doing this, right? Why am I doing it? So if I want them to see the best results, I have to invest in myself so I can invest in them.
So would you suggest somebody going into the social media, or maybe they're in there right now and they're just, let's say, a general VA who does basic posting, takes content already given to them? Do you find more success if you try to hone in on maybe 1 to 2, channels versus trying to know them all? Or what's your advice on that?
Yeah, you definitely will. The more you're on, whichever one you use the most is the one that you will learn the most about, right? It'll end up being your favorite because that's the one you're on most of the time. So yeah, I mean, I definitely recommend, don't try to start like, I'm going to know everything at one time. But I would truly say, like, if Facebook and Instagram are your favorite, obviously become an expert at those first, and then you can work on LinkedIn, Pinterest, Twitter, whatever else you want to provide for your clients. And sometimes things just fall in our laps, and we don't want, like, I had no interest in YouTube at all, and I'm like really finding success with YouTube right now, and it's something that I'm really more interested in than I thought I would be. So it really just depends. I think every season of life will be different. Your clients will push that too, depending on what they or where they need to be. But also, we all need to be on what kind of demographic are we looking for? What kind of clients are we looking for? If we're looking for a younger client, they're probably not going to be on Facebook as much. They're going to be on Instagram and maybe LinkedIn. So it depends on who you're looking for too, on where you need to be.
Right, right. And again, that does go back to knowing who your target audience is, which is huge, especially on social media. Because like you said,
Yeah.
based on your age or, you know, maybe your region or what have you, or your industry, you're going to be hanging out on a different channel than, you know, like an attorney is going to, your best bet is probably not Facebook if you're trying to,
Right.
you know, reach out that way. So,
yeah.
All right. Any closing comments you want to leave anybody with, or?
At the end of the day, I think your business will always evolve. So wherever you're starting at now, what you're doing, even if you don't love it, give, like, over deliver on everything that you do, because you never want to leave like that bad taste in somebody's mouth, right? You always want them to refer you. Even people that we didn't work out, they still refer me to other people, right? Because I didn't burn that bridge. I kept over delivering, even if I didn't like what I was doing. I kept over delivering. And I think that's so key. So I would encourage everybody to always over deliver, learn everything you can, take every course that you can afford. Don't be a course junkie. Actually do the work, right? And learn, take the action steps. Because you can have all the courses in the world, but if you're not going to do them, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
Invest time and money in your business, because that's what's going to blow your business up. That's how you're going to do it. That's the only way you're going to do it. Learning, investing, using time and money to do that. So, yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I know you are busy, a busy girl. So I do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So, you know, Chrissy is our resident social media expert. So feel free, if you guys have questions, leave comments underneath here, or she always has a week every single month that in the hub here. So feel free to ask her questions. She's always more than willing to help out. Thanks again, Chrissy.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye. All right, so I hope you guys got, you know, not just an insight on, you know, maybe being a social media VA, but also understanding, especially in that space, how important it is to really keep up on the trends. And if you really want to deep dive into the social media realm, I am a firm believer, and I say this all the time, not just about your target audience, but about niching out. And if there is one that you really resonate with right now, if you love Instagram or you love Pinterest or you love Facebook, start there and really just know everything that there is to know. Because especially like even with Facebook, for example, you could become an ads expert. I mean, you want to really niche yourself down, because I feel like when you really, really niche down to something super specific, like let's say call yourself a Facebook ad specialist, and you really get good at what you're doing, that is when you can really see the revenue come back from just being a general, I'm just going to kind of throw content out there all over the place. Like when you can say, I'm an expert, I trained with XYZ, you know, I know the ins, outs, ups, downs, every single thing that has to do with Facebook ads, you're going to be able to charge top dollar for that. And, you know, that again is when you're not trading time for money, okay? Because that's not the case. So I hope that this was helpful to all of you social media or aspiring social media VAs. It's definitely exciting. There's not a better time to be doing it than now, because it's just blowing up all over the place and there's so many places that you could be with it. But again, you guys have any questions, please feel free to write it in the comments or just post a question in the Facebook group. We're always here to help you guys. And I hope you have a great rest of your day and week. Take care, everyone.